emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome.
Well, since the last time you saw me in the videos, I've gone on and built the upper superstructure. Really easy, just a step-by-step thing to do. Just make sure that when you're putting the lighting in, if you are putting lighting in, that you check as you go that you've connected it all up properly, and check as well that the lighting strips are actually stuck down. I did find that some of them did come unstuck and just needed sort of like a little extra bit of glue on the back and things like that. But anyway, it does go together fairly easily. Just remember, it is trumpeter and it is made to fit, and the tolerances are pretty tight in the in trumpeter kits, and you'll find that if you're a millimetre out or half a millimetre out in one section, the next section won't fit on. That's how trumpeter do things. They're really tight and tolerances are tight. The upper decks, as you get to the upper decks, you will find that some of the castings, some of the mouldings swell and move a little bit, so you will have to clamp things down as you go along. Good idea, have some clamps to hand just to hold the decks down, otherwise you'll just be sat holding them while the glue goes off. So the next stage now is to apply this to the hull. We need to go and get the hull. Here it is, the hull. Yeah, it's been sat around ready for ages, ready to put that bit on. It's down there, onto there. We can then sort of start building a ship. Right, it does fit. I've tried it, it does fit, but what I've got to do first is, as I've said before, check the lighting before you go along. Now, under here somewhere, let's move the camera around a little bit. Under here somewhere is a plug and socket for the lighting. We need to plug that in and check it all works, because there's no going back if it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Let's have a look. Let's put this on here. It does find its own position. Let's turn some lights off a little bit. Let's turn some lights down and we can see, hopefully. The main lights in the workshop are stopping you from seeing the lighting. Right, the hull itself does bow out a little bit, but just by pressing it in and, as I say, making sure that you seat it down properly, because, as I've said, explained, the tolerance, you can hear it clicking as it goes in. A little bit of a light leak along here, because that needs to press down on there and be held somewhere. Now, the way I'm going to do this is, I think that if I run a trail of Tamiya extra thin along it, it'll just evaporate. By the time I get from that end to that end, this end will be dry. So I'm going to use a tube cement and apply that, and then touch and go. So we'll use Tamiya as well, just to hold it down and snap it in, and then we could turn it round. Yeah, I can't even turn it round to show you on the video. Hang on, let's do it this way. Let's go to wobbly. So over here see how the hole bores out, so we need to press that in there like that, otherwise we get a big light leak. And along there like that. Doesn't that look good? Almost, you could almost be there. And the lighting, see, oh, just get out of focus. There we go. Right, I'm going to go on and struggle with this and get the superstructure glued onto the boat. Big, innit? There we go, it's the superstructure's almost on. Yeah, as you saw, I put the sort of tube glue on first, and then just went along and backed it up with the Tamiya extra thin. Just go along and then you can see where it's not stuck, where the hull is pushing out a little bit. A little bit of extra thin, just using the capillary action in the gap, and then just hold it. It goes off quite quickly, so you don't have to hold it that long. As you probably saw, I did try some masking tape to try and hold it in, but it doesn't work because there's nothing to pull against. So that's it, it's going in. We're nearly there. Right, we'll let that go off and we'll do a little bit more. Alright, as in the instructions, that's the superstructure done. It's all now down to building. I thought the next stage would be to start putting the rest of the superstructure and the upper cabins on, but there's a lot more building work to be done before that happens. But we do, however, take a step back a couple of sections to do these bits. We've got some ladders or stairways to make out of photo etch. That's probably the subject of another video, but a technique I can show you today in this short video is the grand staircase dome. This little bit that should be glued into that hole there, which is over there on the boat. I can show you that, how to do that. It looks quite nice when it's done. Well, yeah, let's get on and I'll show you that. Grand staircase domes. How do we do it? Here it is, a little bit closer. I'm trying to keep it so you can see it. Yeah, you can see the dome is decorated with some fancy iron work. The round one, I think it's the second class grand staircase dome, and the oval one, the one I'm going to show you how to do, is the first class grand staircase dome. If I've got that wrong, I'm sure you can tell me. But right, it's dead easy to do. All we need is some oil paint. You can do it a number of ways, but this is how I'm going to do it. I've got some oil paint. I've got the infamous Abteilung 502 Starship Filth. It's a brilliant colour. It's not black. It's not grey. It's a nice colour for doing this sort of work and weathering. You need some of that. You need a rag, some thinners, cotton buds, and you could wear some latex rubber gloves. Just keeps it a bit less messy on your fingers. But because mine are black, I think it might be easier in this demonstration if I showed you how to do it without. Right, all we need is this. Cleaned it up. If we can get into this, just take a bit of this. You don't need a lot. On the end of your cotton tip and just rub it in. You're probably aghast in horror. What's he doing? Cover the lot, all of it. Bit more. I say, if you had rubber gloves on, you could do this with your finger because it's nice and therapeutic, and you can rub it all in. Cover the lot. And as I'm running out of space to hold it, this is where it can get a bit messy. Rub it in, round in circles, get it going in all directions so it goes in all the nooks and crannies. Yuck, look at that, all of it. Make sure it's all done, all black. And on the video it looks black, this, but Starship Filth, it's not black. It's like a grimy, sooty, dirty Starship Filth colour. That's it. Done. Well, not really. Leave it for an hour or two. Doesn't matter, because it's oil paint, it'll take forever to dry, so just leave it for a bit and we'll come back to it. Now we've left these for a little bit and we can now start clearing off. All you need is the rag and a tiny drop of thinners. Don't soak it, and then just work around, try to keep this in focus, just work around wiping off the excess. See, it gets mucky. and what happens is the extra oil paint gets left in the recesses of the canopy. Don't worry if, like here, you've rubbed it off. See, just in there. Don't worry, you can just apply some more and do it again. And that's all there is to it. I find as well that because there's a very slight film across the perspex from the Starship Filth, it leaves it quite an authentic looking effect. But there we are. That's how we do the domes. If I can pick it up, that's how we do the domes for the first and second class staircases. The grand staircase. There we are. I'll do that bit after. Alright. Another secret passed on to you. Oh, there we go. And there we are. There's the circular, I think, second class grand staircase dome fitted. And in position, and don't do like I did drop it inside. It's not glued in yet, but yeah, it does actually fit in there, and if you drop it inside you'll spend forever fishing it out. But there we are. That's it. That's it for this video. Let's see if we can pull it back. I'm not sure what the lighting's going to be like, and have a look at the ship with the superstructure now permanently fixed on. Well, the main superstructure anyway. There's some of the offices, cabins and such to fit in all these areas along the top yet, but that will be the subject of future videos. And we're getting a bit, yeah, there we are. That's it all straightened up, and we can see everything now. So there we are. That's it for this video. We'll do some more next time. I'll go away and start assembling things and painting. There's a lot of bits to paint now, and then we'll come back in another video and we'll have a look at some other parts of building the Titanic. But thanks for joining me. Don't forget, go along and keep up to date with me on Skipper Scale Models. I'll try and show the progress on Facebook as I go along. But thank you for joining us for another part of the Titanic. Bye.
emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome.